Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to my channel, My Yard Sale. Today I want to talk about, I think, the very biggest layoff ever is coming. I know that companies have laid off 10,000 people at a time. I have a feeling that once this starts happening, it's going to snowball across all corporations and all business segments. My background is in technology, and I'm watching technology very closely because I'm trying to get back to work in technology. And I'm starting to see indicators that I think are a problem, and I could be wrong, and I'd be happy to have anybody add any nice comments to what I'm saying. I'm not trying to suggest that anybody shouldn't be chosen for a position based on their gender or their race or ethnicity. I think everybody should get a chance, but if you're hired for anything but qualifications, as soon as that company has the ability to lay off and let those people go, they're going to take that opportunity. Companies for the last 8 years, maybe even longer, but definitely the last 8 years. But the companies have had to hire based on gender and race over qualifications. So they have all these people that may have learned how to do their jobs, but they weren't qualified to begin with. They may be qualified now, and I think those people will probably be the people that stick with their positions. But anybody that didn't build up those qualifications, they're going to get let go. And I think that's going to be the next phase of cost cutting for companies and corporations. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I'm starting to see more people talking about assessments. I've had to take assessments myself, but the assessment for the longest time was what's your race, what's your gender, what sexual are you? I don't really know, I don't remember everything, but it's always been race and gender. And I never did test it if I put non-white and female. I don't know if I would have gotten farther in the process of hiring. I just know that I didn't get any farther. So now I'm starting to see that the people that did get through the cycle, they're starting to ask about assessments. So now corporations are looking for another reason to be able to let people go. You can take an assessment, and I've seen the assessments. I've taken the assessments myself. I've been told that I failed the assessments. I don't like to step on flowers or hurt animals or anything. I'm a good co-worker. I have good history. I'm a prior vet. I'm a veteran. I mean, I have history that's very good. And somehow the assessments, I get cycled out. They can't tell me, oh, we're not going to hire you because you're male or you're white, because they know they're going to get a discrimination lawsuit. But they can say, oh, well, the assessment, you didn't pass the assessment. They can say that without getting a lawsuit, I think. I don't know exactly how that works. But I think corporations are going to start doing these assessments. They're going to be ridiculous assessments, ones that you can't pass or fail. It's just, oh, we just want to see what you think, how you think. Well, what they're thinking is how everybody thinks, but they're going to find the one thing in that assessment, they're going to be able to let you go because you're not qualified. And you're not going to be able to file a discrimination lawsuit either because you failed the assessment. So maybe this is the cycle where corporations are realizing that hiring on anything besides qualification is a long-term fail, and they're not going to be able to stay alive, and they're trying to reverse back to hiring based on qualifications. I think that's better for everybody. We're going to get higher quality products, higher quality services. We're going to just get higher quality. It may be a little bit more expensive even, but it's going to be higher quality. So I'm starting to see these assessments popping up in my LinkedIn feeds. I've been taking assessments now for the better part of 2 years. And the assessments don't make any sense to me. Some of them do test you on your math skills, your problem solving skills, but some of them, like I can't even figure out how you're supposed to pass it. And some of them I've actually failed multiple times. And I'm not the kind of person to fail a test. I even I look up how to pass these things, and some of these you just can't pass. They're just meant to fill you out. So all the people that got got into their position based on their race or gender need to be very careful, because I have a feeling that these assessments are going to weed them out. And that's going to be happening, I'm going to say, probably in the next 6 months to 12 months. I think these corporations are probably hurting pretty bad, not being able to get the job done or do the job with the people they've hired. They're going to have to go back to hiring based on qualifications. And they can't do that because the government won't let them because of EEOE. So what they'll do is they will let all the people go that they had to hire that didn't make it to the next step in qualifications, and they'll go back to hiring based on qualification. But that's going to mean that there's going to be not 10,000 people. Like I think I think Google and Amazon, they'll lay off 10,000 people, and it doesn't even really make too much of a hit on the radar. But when 100,000 people are fired, or 300,000 people are fired, then I think there's going to be bigger a much bigger ripple in the industry, in industries in general. And I do think that's coming. I hope it isn't. I hope everybody can stay employed. I just hope that companies are allowed to start hiring based on qualifications again versus, again, EEOE. And again, I want everybody to be able to get a job. All the jobs that I've worked in have always been, the companies that I've worked for have always been very fair and equal. I've worked with women, I've worked with men, I've worked with ethnic men, I've worked with ethnic women. I got to be honest, I have never worked with a we, us, or them people. I've never worked with anybody like that. I don't know exactly how that works, but I mean, I've worked with all genders and races, both genders and races, I should say, and it's been equal either way. But again, to be hired based on that, it doesn't do the company any justice. It doesn't do the people any justice. And I think companies are starting to realize that that's not working. So they can't fire people based on their race or gender that they initially hired them based on, but they can fire them based on the assessment. So I can see that starting to happen, and things starting to happen again. I don't know, we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that the government stops with this bullshit of just forcing companies to hire based on whatever it is they're trying to fill. Like I did see at one point, companies required college degrees. Then companies didn't require college degrees. And I didn't understand what that was. And I think that's completely government driven. Like, how can the government push that they're giving away all these tuitions and all this money for tuition in college? How can they even make anybody care about that if, unless you have to have that college degree to get a job? If you don't need the college degree to get a job, then nobody cares about if the government's giving out money for college. People just want to get the job. I just feel like this is a cycle that I'm not used to and a cycle that I'm not prepared for. Anyways, I'm open to any comments. I'd love to hear anything anybody has to say about this post. I hope this finds you well, and I hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.